welcome back to another video. I'm somewhere that I live relatively close to but don't visit particularly often, and I've never actually been here at this time of year for the deer rut. Now I'm here today meeting up with somebody that I've actually spoken to via social media for a number of years but actually never met in person despite our best efforts. Richard Campion. He's an amazing wildlife photographer based down in Devon, and he is down here running some workshops at the moment, so he's got a day off. He messaged me about a week ago and we finally got round to meeting up. And we got here at sunrise this morning and we've spent the last 4 hours chatting, drinking coffee and walking around enjoying what Richmond Park has got to offer. So now we're going to go in search of some wildlife and see what we can find with absolutely no expectation. But I'll bring you along and let's see what we can find. Quite amazing what happens sometimes when you let the wildlife come to you. I know it's only a grey squirrel, but when they feel comfortable enough in your presence, they get quite inquisitive. And Rich and I were just literally sat here, minding our own business, looking at these stunning fallow deer, trying to come up with a composition and an image with what is changeable light. So we've got some dappled light at the moment, but it's far too harsh out in the open to try and photograph the red deer, so there's one literally sleeping in front of me as we speak. But as we were sat here, a grey squirrel came up and decided to come and check us out, and as you can see from this footage, certainly got within the minimal focal distance of a camera, so we had to resort to iPhones and yeah, it's just amazing. It doesn't matter what it is, how rare it is, how common it is, but when wildlife feels comfortable in your presence, it's magical. So after spending probably an hour and a half photographing the fallow deer, the light was quite challenging, but we managed to get some images. We've taken a wander to a couple of locations that both of us have previously had some luck with the little owls, and sometimes, you know, you look around the park and it's quite busy today. It's a Sunday, sorry, it's a Saturday. Where's the week gone? And there are people everywhere. Obviously, it's fairly busy with footfall for people here to photograph the rut. And I haven't taken a single image of a red deer yet. And I'm not saying that I won't, but one thing that I love about Richmond Park and some of the other royal parks is that the owl population, particularly little owls, is amazing. And we've come to this location, and sure enough, as soon as we've turned up, there's a little owl sat in a tree hollow in an old oak tree. So enjoy some little owl. So we're now in a second woodland. We'd come back in because the lights got quite harsh again out in the open. We couldn't find any stags in the bracken, so we heard a little owl, well, Richard heard a little owl call, and we've just managed to track it down. And actually, the first one was stunning because it was sat in a lovely tree cavity, as you've seen, but this one was on an open branch, and it was amazing because you get some slight rim lighting around the owl itself, but also the background looked amazing in the green of the foliage. It's just flown slightly higher into the tree, but as you can see, and as you can hear rather, there are lots of parakeets. And the only thing I'd say about Richmond Park is there's lots of little owls, but a lot of the nesting sites that have been previously little owl roosts have been taken over by jackdaws and parakeets now, and obviously parakeets are a pretty invasive species, so they're everywhere. So guys, that brings us to the end of what's been an amazing day. It's not been rammed with photography. Well, this afternoon has. This morning, probably 10 minutes. We've been here since sunrise. We've spent probably the vast majority of that time talking, but you know, we've been chatting over Instagram for a while, meaning to meet up for months, years. And it just so happens that Richard's down here doing some workshops in the park, which is, you know, has meant that we've finally been able to meet up. I'm sure it's not going to be the last time.
Definitely not.
But please, if you don't already know who Richard is, check out his work. He's running workshops in the UK and sometimes overseas, but mainly in the UK.
Yeah. Derbyshire,
Scotland, Cairngorms. What's your website?
Yeah, so it's just richardcampionphotography.com and my wildlife images on social media. So yeah.
Make sure you check him out. But thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you out there next time.
Is that because those are DJI mics?
Yeah.
So it just links straight to that?
This came with that.
No way.
Yeah.
Mate, is that 4K as well?
Yeah.
That is nuts, isn't it? You can probably see all my bogies. Is this going to be on the outtakes?
It will be.
Yeah, love that. Love that.